Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie, and hey to all those of you who are my regular watchers, and welcome to any newbies on watching my channel. Today I'm going to do a first impressions and review of the RCMA foundation palette in shade light. So it's the lightest palette and it's in their sort of one strip foundation palette. So they do a number of different foundation palettes. This is the light one. It comes in a more medium olivey skin coloured and also a darker shade, and also it comes in a bigger palette, so you can get palettes with three with lots of different shades, and then they do really big ones. So yeah, I just thought I'd start with this, and also the bigger palettes had a lot more darker shades, and I only really wanted lighter shade foundation since I'm pale skinned. So the little palette looks like this. It comes in a little plastic plastic container, and I got this from Beauty Bay and it was £25, so I'll link it below the website for those of you in the UK, and also I will link the RCMA website as well. So these are meant to be 50% pigment, which means they're super high pigmented products, whereas normal foundation is, I think, normally under 20% pigment. So these are a lot higher pigment, so even though they are quite small, they should be able to go a long way. And also you're meant to be able to build it up to be very full coverage, or do a lighter touch and make it a more light to medium coverage. So let's get started and see what I think of it. So my face is clean. I'm just going to put on a little hairband to get the hair back out. This is my little cat ear one, looking like a little cat. So yeah, I really love trying out different foundations, and yeah, I thought this would be a cool one to try because I really do like the RCMA translucent powder, which if you've watched my videos, I use this in a lot of my videos. And yeah, I thought I really want to see how the foundation worked out. So I'm going to first of all prep my face with MAC Prep and Prime. Just going to spritz this on my face to bring hydration, and this is what I would normally do before putting on other foundations, so I just want to sort of follow the normal routine. I'm going to use some of this Japanese-esque Radiance Primer Lumining Complex Primer. I just have a little sample size of this, but I have been using this. I got this from Space NK and I really liked it, so I'm going to just use some more of this to act as a primer. It's very illuminating but not greasy. Kind of reminds me of Becca Backlight Primer, which I use in a lot of my other videos, and yeah, just giving another primer a go. So first of all, I'm going to take this number one shade. These three shades are all very light shades, and then these two get a little bit darker. And the first one is kind of like a yellow undertone. This is also looks quite yellowy, but a little bit more neutral. And then this third one is a little bit more neutrally undertoned, but still with a yellow. And this looks definitely quite yellow undertoned, and the last one looks a little bit more neutral undertoned. So I'm just going to take, I've never used it before, so I'm just going to take a little, see how it comes out. Okay, it's interesting. It's sort of, that's what it looks like on the back of my finger. I think I'm going to have to get a little bit more of the product out and then blend out. So just trying to work out how to get it out. So I'm going to use my finger and apply it on my face. That's not quite working, so I'm going to take the back of my nail and sort of scrape some of the product like this, and then I'm going to put that on the back of my hand. Okay, that's definitely worked better for getting the pigment out, and I'm sort of just rubbing this on the back of my hand and sort of melting the product so that it sort of needed to be warmed up because it is quite solid in that little container. So this is the lightest shade, so this is very light. So I think I'm going to go in with a little bit more of this maybe middle shade, which is a little bit darker, again using the nail to scrape some of the product, and then we will put it on the back of the hand and melt it. I know that you can mix this, so just sort of rubbing it with my other finger to melt it. This product, I know you can add moisturizer as well to make it a little bit more of a medium coverage, but I do really want to see how it works as a full coverage foundation. So just taking more of that same shade, putting it on the back of my hand and rubbing it to melt it, and then putting it sort of just on the center parts of my face, and then I'll blend out. So far I have had to go in quite a few times to get the product, and then we're going to melt it. So I could see these products running out quite quickly, but then I feel like most stick foundations, anyway, you don't get that much product in. And I'm going to start blending it out and then build up to see, since I've not used it before, this might do more coverage than I think. Then I can go in and add more. I'm going to use my Sigma Kabuki F80 brush from Sigma. I'm just going to buff that out and see how it blends. So it is blending out okay. It's quite a matte finish, it's not dewy, so I'm glad I went in with the illuminating primer, thinking that this might actually blend out better with a... Oh no, it's sort of blending okay now. I was thinking maybe I need a beauty blender or a blending sponge, but that's blending now okay. It's sort of doing... I have to work a little bit to get that to blend out. It's tapping in sort of circular motions. So at the moment it's looking quite natural amount of coverage, so I think I'm going to go back in and put a bit more product on so that we can really see how does it look. And I'm going to go in with this number second darkest one, again using the back of my nail to just scrape off some of the product, and we will go and do the little back of the hand melting technique again to melt it out. It does feel very, like on the back of my hand it is giving a lot of, sort of quite a lot of pigment. It's just getting it onto the face is a little bit harder than if it was on a stick or if it's a liquid foundation, but I feel like if something's good it's okay to do a little bit more work for it. So yeah, it definitely is taking a bit longer than just putting a stick foundation straight on my face or putting liquid foundation straight on my face. So yeah, this colour is definitely quite a bit warmer and a little bit darker, which is good. Just putting that on the centre of the face, and again we'll blend this out. So I know the RCMA has been used for a number of years. I think it was established in 1963, and it's been used a lot in film, and a lot of professional makeup artists use it as well. So I'm just going to go with the very darkest shade now and just try to give just even a little bit more coverage. We've kind of gone through all of the shades apart from that one, so I might use a little bit of that one just to see what it's like as well. So this one is the darkest shade, so melting it on the back of my hand and then putting it on the centre of the face to try to build up. At the moment the coverage, when you're doing a sort of new product, it's always hard to know how much of like a foundation do I need to put on to actually get it to be full coverage. And because this is a different style of foundation that I haven't used this style before, it's sort of just trying to work out how much do I need to give to actually build it up. So just blending that darkest shade out. And also I don't think it's got any SPF in it, so it wouldn't give any flashbacks for anyone who was having photos taken. So as you can see, you still can see like my my moles and my little freckles still coming through, so it's not a really full coverage. I would say how much I put on, it's still feeling quite medium but not full coverage at the moment. So I'm going to go back in with the second lightest one and just do the scraping again. So I will have tried them all the shades, and all these shades for fair skinned people. It is really, they're not looking too tanned, which is good for fair skinned people. And like I said, they do darker skinned colours as well. And I normally wear an NC20 from MAC, if anyone wants to sort of compare. Some of these I would say are like an NC15 from MAC, and then some of them are sort of up to an NC20. So I do like the finish. Now that I've sort of blended it, it's looking, with that primer as well, it's not looking too matte, which is nice. It's not looking too dry, and it doesn't look like it's going into my fine lines or smile lines or stuff like that, which I like. So it's sitting nice on top of the skin, definitely, and probably at the moment it's just not looking as full coverage as some of my other foundations would look. But I'm going to go in and finish off my makeup so that then I can see what I actually think, because I don't normally just wear foundation by itself. So I'm going to go in now and finish the look. Hey guys, so I'm back. I finished my full makeup now, done concealer, powder, bronzer, lipstick, eyes, everything for a full face, and I really like the way this foundation looks. I feel like once you put the concealer, once you put the powder on, once you put your blush, bronzer, highlight, it looks really nice. It's like a very flawless looking skin look. You look sort of like not heavy and cakey, just very flawless, and I really like how this RCMA foundation actually looks once the makeup look is completed. It looks very together and just a very like, wow, my skin looks really flawless, and it does sit really beautifully on the skin, which is really important for anyone who's got fine lines or just any sort of imperfections. It basically glides and sits over it really lovely when you blend that out. So the coverage, I would say, is more of a medium coverage from the amount of product I put on today, and you guys seen how much I sort of scraped out. I can show you guys, so as this was a brand new palette, so that's how much I've used. You can see the little scrape lines. I feel like if you wanted to go heavier, you could just scrape out more. I feel like this medium coverage does look really nice, and I'm really happy with that RCMA powder foundation. I really like that this has the different shades, so it's not just one shade that you get different shades, so you can build up build up the shade exactly right for you, so you can mix and match the shades to actually get your perfect shade. So I really like that. I think for £25, I think it's actually quite reasonably priced, because the quality of the product does feel really nice on the skin. I feel like this feels as nice as what my Hourglass Vanish stick feels, and it's 44 or 42 or 43 pounds in the UK. So I feel for the price this is actually a really lovely quality, and I feel like, yeah, I'm really happy I bought it. And I think it actually, for my skin type, so I've got combination skin, it doesn't feel too greasy, but it doesn't dry too matte. So I feel like if you've got dry skin, you could wear it, and if you've got oily skin, it's not a dewy finish. So I feel like it would suit a lot of skin tones, and I feel like if you wanted to make it more hydrating, you could mix a bit of moisturiser in with it to make it a more moisturising foundation. And if you wanted to keep it more of a matte foundation, then you could use like something like Pore Professional or a mattifying primer before, and like I did, an illuminating primer to give a bit more of a glowy finish. So I feel like it's very versatile. I feel like the packaging's nice and sleek, and just this shade is actually Siri's favourite palette in shade KA, I believe, and it comes in KA1. Oh, those are the shades, yeah, so it says it's KA, and I'll link the one that I bought below, the exact one from Beauty Bay, for anyone who's got a similar complexion to myself. So I'm going to give this a 5-star rating, 5 out of 5 for a foundation, because I really like it. And yes, it took a little bit more time to get it on the skin and work it out how to get it on the face, since I hadn't used it before, but I feel like I'm really happy with it. I think it's really worth a try, and I would definitely recommend the slim 5 palette ones, not the big more expensive £60 ones, if you're just buying it for yourself, because the bigger palettes have a lot of different shades, though you could use them for contouring if you want it. but I feel like if you're looking just for a foundation, these sort of 5 palette ones are quite good because you can actually just get it for your skin tone. But then if you wanted a palette that had way more colours, then the bigger palettes would be good. But the quality of this I'm really happy with. So yeah, like I said, 5-star rating, 5 out of 5 for me. I'm gonna give it. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!